Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome. We got a great song to play. It's finally below 70 degrees in South Alabama, so I had to play this song.
So happy to see you guys on here.
Yes.
My name's Courtney. This is my husband Wayne and our daughter Madison.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. And thanks so much for taking some time on a Friday to talk about successful tips for the holidays that we're about to go into. So
don't worry, I'm not going to wear these the whole time. I'm just trying to have some holiday fun.
So we want to welcome you. We're going to get it started here in about 30 seconds. But again, welcome to Coffee with Clients. We are so honored to be hosting it today. We've got some awesome things. I don't know about you, but this can be a really fun time of year. But if you're brand new on program, maybe this could be a little bit of a scary time if you're like, uh-oh, heading into the holidays, how am I going to navigate through it? And we have been through multiple holiday seasons together and are going to talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and officially get us kicked off. It is right at the top of the hour. So again, welcome to Coffee with Clients. My name is Wayne. This is my wife, Courtney. This is my daughter, Madison. I am so privileged I get to sit between these two lovely ladies moving forward. So I want to remind you what the purpose of Coffee with Clients is. This is not a Optavia official training. This is just a training that those of us that are coaches and clients have put together because we know another great layer of support is having these gatherings like this. And so we are so excited to be able to come to you and offer this. I wanted to just take a few moments and have Courtney share our story and just let you know who you're kind of listening, these goofy three up here. And then what we want to do is give you very practical tips on how to navigate through the holidays. We have been through, is this our sixth or seventh? Sixth holiday season, and we have navigated all of those successfully well. So we would love to give you that gift on how that works and operates. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will go ahead and go through this. And Courtney, you can talk about our story. So let me go ahead and present this.
Okay, well, guys, I'm so glad you took a moment to come and be inspired, hopefully go away with some tips. And it's really just our pleasure to share our story. Honestly, 6 years ago, I was in a very desperate place, to be honest. I actually ended up in the ER with high blood pressure on my birthday at like 3 a.m., nudged Wayne and said, hey, this is an emergency. So we went. I knew I was 60 pounds overweight. I had just been ignoring that my blood pressure was high. So I was really at a desperate, stuck place. I had been trying just like my whole life. I was on the yo-yo cycle of gaining and losing, but I just couldn't really change my mindset, which we're going to talk about today and give you some healthy habits and tips that have really helped us. But to me, I saw Optavia as a life ring when my coach, John Michael, shout out to you, posted something, saw that he had done it, and then introduced us to this party. I really love to see it that way because it transformed my life completely. And, here's the picture of me, the Christmas right before we started. Do you think I like sharing this picture? No, I do not. But
you're filling out that tree pretty well there, I got to tell you. So
fit on the little graphic thing. When we got the family pictures back, this was my reality. I thought, oh, I guess I'm not hiding it as well as I thought. So, I'm smiling, but really, honestly, it was just that feeling of hiding in pictures behind your kids all the time. A lot of Christmases, I wasn't in hardly any pictures. And it's sad to me when I look back and say, oh my gosh, I was the one that wanted to take the pictures because I didn't want to be in them. So I don't know if you relate to that, but just really want to encourage you. Here we are. We're just like you. We rose our hand and said, yes, we want to make a change to our health. And we're so thankful we found Optavia. Are we perfect? No. But what it means is we just haven't quit. We keep going and it gets easier and you get in your stride and you begin to kind of trot and then run. And then it's like freedom is on the other side. So I'm just thinking of chariots of fire. So, just keep going. So I ended up losing 60 pounds. And to me though, yes, that was wonderful. And everybody's story is different. I feel completely different. I feel like the person I always knew I was inside. And so if that's your desire, I know that's why you're on this journey, is to really create a healthy lifestyle. And so I just want to encourage you, it is possible, even during the holidays. So that's what we're really hoping you'll go away with today, is just some hope to know that, I may not be perfect, but I'm doing this and I'm going to keep going. And so what happens is, which is really amazing, you're going to see the progression. I know you see us sitting here. You don't know what we looked like before, but the progression thing is, as we, I started to get healthy.
They got prettier.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I don't know.
Wayne waited a month, while I was doing it, just to, and then as I was literally cleaning out closets because I felt like an Energizer bunny, throwing stuff, and he was like, my gosh, I gotta have this energy. I won't steal your thunder. But anyway, I elbowed him and said, hey, big boy, why don't you join me? And so let's hear his story.
Yeah, and I want to say real quick, this picture on the right here, that was taken 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, at lunch.
So got to her healthy weight 6.5 years ago. That's a current picture, not from 6 years ago,
right,
from 2 or 3 days ago. So here's the deal. You not only get healthy, you stay healthy. If you lean in to those components, your coach, the community, the habits of health, and the fuelings. And if you just keep it simple, but yeah, she gave me the nudge and here's the result. Oop, I went a little too far there. Can't share Madison's yet. So, I was in my mid 40s, just a dad working, traveling, but, just knew I was not the best version of me, just low energy. I guess it was a little bit about weight, but it was just kind of mental clarity and energy and just feeling like this is kind of the way it is. And then I decided to get healthy. And then I'm the Lord's a leaping that you see on the screen right there. That's how I felt when I started really fueling my body properly. I just felt like I was going to a gas station and literally putting less than ideal fuel into my body. And then across the street was Dr. A's gas station. And I was like, well, why would I not fuel this one body that I have? Because I realize as I'm getting older, I just turned 50 last week, that I've lived more years than I'm going to live. So I want to make sure that this body is operating at maximum performance. And I will tell you, I'm in better shape now than I was 15, 20 years ago. And it's allowed me to still be fully present with my family, still show up at work, still be a great coach. When you take back an area of your life that you felt like you didn't know you could, because I didn't want to do exercise, I didn't want to do meal prep, I was too busy traveling, but I knew.
Yeah, I remember you said diets are for girls.
Yeah, and I was kind of prideful. And guys, we kind of are a little stiff-necked. And I realized, wait a minute, we're going to do this as a couple. We're going to do this as a family. And as a result of that, this one right here decided, hey, let me do something too. So go for it, Maddie.
So my story is a little bit different because I am one of those people that had to hit the reset button. So if any of you are on this call that said, I did it once and I didn't really hold on to those habits and had to hit the reset button, hopefully this would give you a little bit of encouragement, because failure is never final.
Amen.
And since hitting that reset button, I've lost 90 pounds. So that is exciting.
Awesome.
Come on.
Together. Yes. So that's what's really, exciting and encouraging, because yes, I'm watching, my parents that have stayed healthy, and it's encouraging me, to continue on my own journey. But that doesn't mean if you slip up that it's just over for you. You can hit that reset, lean into your coach, and do it again. And so really the goal is to not have to do that again. But if that is you, don't feel discouraged, like, oh, this is not going to work for me, because it does. And it was the first place I turned to. And I was like, hold up a second, we need to rein it back in. So, but anyways, yeah, that's my story. So.
And it's so true. And I just wanted to say, I want to encourage you that your yes matters.
That's
right. It's going to have a ripple effect into so many lives around you. And I'm sure right now, many of you can think about family members, maybe people at work or at church or just in your sphere of influence that you're like, I wish they had. Be an advocate for this. Whether coaching's a good fit for you or not, that's a discussion you have with your coach and where you feel like it is. I will tell you, there's a lot of misconceptions about it. So at least I would encourage you, trust your coach to at least explore it with them. Whether it's a good fit for you or not, that's your decision, but don't make a decision based upon lack of information. But I will say, at a minimum, be an advocate, right? I had to travel out to California this week, and a person recommended this sushi restaurant, which I love, so I ate at. I was so blown away by how good it was. I got back to my training class the next day, and all I could think about was that. And they're going, where are you going out to eat tonight? I'm going to the sushi place. And I wrote a review on Yelp, which I never do. And I told everyone that was local there, because you've got to try this place. And I told the people there, thank you. I said, I'm just letting you know, I'm going back and singing your praises. We should do the same thing with Optavia.
That's true.
I'm not an employee of theirs. I'm not a coach of that sushi, but I'm an advocate. And so what do? I'm referring people to a place where I had a great experience with the service and the food. And so you're having a great experience and you see this effect. If she would have not said yes, then you would have not seen these two images in the middle and on the right. We would not be sitting here. And so don't keep it to yourself. This is a great time as we think about giving gifts to others. Give the gift of health, and your coach can guide you through that process. But what we wanted to focus on today, now that you know a little bit about us, is to give you some holiday tips for success. This can be, right, a little bit of a scary place to navigate. Some of you have already been to office parties. You're like, yikes, I totally rocked it. And others like, I failed. Well, the good news is you get a redo every 2.5 to 3 hours, right? So don't let one bad decision sabotage your journey. Just pick your, I'm so grateful Dr. A gave us 6 opportunities a day to get it right. So, but we want to give you some very practical tips on how to thrive through this season. So there's, I think, 8 or 9 of those, and then we will give you a challenge at the end. And then we do want to leave time for a Q&A as we move through this. So Madison, get us started with tip number 1 on being successful.
Absolutely. So as you can see, and for those of you just listening, it says make a plan. And I think that this is a great first thing to really talk about, because whether you want to maintain this holiday season or lose this holiday season, or you're going to a party you don't know about what might be there, or it's families coming in town, if you have a plan going into it beforehand, you are less likely to maybe go off plan or make a choice that you regret later on, because really that's not the goal. But one thing I also want to say is don't wing it this holiday season. You have a health coach, you have a community of support, you have a plan. And so we'll go to the next slide.
And ask those questions to that. And those are great conversations to have with your coach. And ask questions in your client support page. Hey, going to a holiday party. Anybody got any ideas that you've been successful, or any recipes? And that leads to this next one, which is a very practical one, Maddie.
Yes, bring something that you know that you can eat. And I think this is a great one. Bring a healthy appetizer. There are great, I know on our client support page, we've got some great recipes, and also the Optavia app. For those of you that haven't downloaded it yet, it is a great resource and tool. It has recipes. It has some other features too that are great, but I really love the recipe part because you can search by category, and it's wonderful. So I know that if I am bringing something that I can eat, I am more likely to be successful, because you are in control of what you put into your body this holiday season, nobody else. So if I know that I can have something there that's going to be healthy, and not really always make it about the food and the memories, which we'll talk about later, but just knowing that I have something healthy that's going to fuel my body well is so important.
So good. And I thought when we were first on plan that I had to sit in the corner at a holiday party with my bar. You know what that almost does? That almost puts more emphasis on the food and on me. Look, poor little Wayne with his little bar diet in the corner while the rest of us are laughing and carrying. You want to laugh and carry on, and you can't eat, right? And so by bringing something, you absolutely 100% know that you can do that. And I would say also have your last fueling as you're walking in, and that leads me to number 3. Don't go hungry.
Amen.
My goodness, this is me as a child.
This is now.
And this is me now. I'm just letting you know. Courtney, all the time, I am that Snickers commercial person. I'm telling you, my body knows every 2.5, 3 hours. So when we're out shopping or doing something, and she drags me to that hellish place called Hobby Lobby or something like that, she's like, here. She hands me a bar when we're in the parking lot. I said, I will not go into the store unless you eat this. I'm not going to have you pat your foot and stomp around like a little kid. So the last thing you want to do is go to a holiday party or any event and famished. Because what's going to happen is those old habits are going to say, well, I'll reset on Monday. You know what? Monday leads to next month and leads to next year. Right? There is no reason. This plan is designed so you thrive in those environments. You're not in deprivation mode. That's old diet mentality. New health choice activity says, I'm going to a party. I'm going to rock this party. I'm going to have great conversations. I'm going to bring healthy options, but I'm also going to make sure that I am fueled up properly before I go, because there's less temptation. Like I would say, don't go to the grocery store hungry.
Can I make one little point about that? Another old mentality that just popped in my brain really is you don't want to save up calories. That was an old thing that I always did. That's a bad habit. The whole thing about the 5 and 1 is learning how to fuel your body properly. So don't think, well, I'll just skip all the fuelings before I go to the party, and that way that is not healthy at all.
This is not calorie counting. It's not point counting. It is making sure that every 2.5, 3 hours we are fueling our body. And Courtney has always done this great on the health assessment here. Madison do too. that the reason that we fuel every 2.5, 3 hours is because we're putting logs on that metabolic fire, right? And so if we don't go for breakfast, or when we first started, I was like, well, I don't really eat that much. Well, how come I'm overweight? It's because I'm waiting when I get back to my hotel room and door dashing this pasta from Olive Garden and thinking, well, I haven't eaten all day, so let me that is old mentality. So this getting our blood sugar into this healthy rhythm, and the Habits of Health book talks about it, is so powerful. And that's why we want to make sure that we don't go hungry and that we make sure we stay hydrated. And one of the great tips that Courtney gave me at a holiday party a couple years ago was, and it sounded funny at first, I'm like, what? Is to actually carry around water in your dominant hand.
I'm a lefty.
So I was like, why would I do that? Because I'm less likely than to reach for something else. And when I feel my brain go and reach for something, I was like, oh, let me reach for what I'm already holding in my hand. And that is a glass of water. So when I feel, because I'm not hungry, I'm either bored, or it's old habits say, when I'm at a party, I got to browse like a goat around every place, right? That's not what, we're not grazing. We're not doing that. We're not animals. We are humans, and we can make with this prefrontal cortex a better choice, right? Stop, challenge, and choose. But if it's there as a cue, dumb Wayne doesn't have to sit there and try to listen to a podcast every 2 minutes at a park. No, I go, wait, let me take a glass of water. So most of the time we are underhydrated and not truly hungry. That was an area that I still work on. Courtney even asked me the other day, said, how much water have you had today? I go, nothing. So
you sound like a baby.
I do.
I carry food around and remind you.
I mean, I am. She has 4 children. When she married, I'm telling you, we just need help out there, right? So stay hydrated is definitely important to do. So Courtney, talk about this 3-bite rule. This has been pretty cool for us to navigate through.
Absolutely. Another very simple tip and idea, but I can tell you it has helped me through every holiday season, because I, first of all, would deprive myself before parties, just like we talked about. I had to stop that. And then also I would think, well, this is the last chance I'm going to have, this divinity that my mother-in-law made, it's only once a year. I had to really work on my mindset. And so this simple 3-bite rule is part of that. And if you can make this a habit, then it will really help you to just really stop, challenge, and choose. And actually, Dr. A says in the Habits of Health book that the first 3 bites are the ones where your tongue and your, taste buds are actually the most at a heightened, the first 3 bites taste the best anyway. And so after that, they lose a lot of their flavor. So the 3-bite rule is this: if you are going to make a choice that you're like, oh, I really want to have a little piece of this, whatever it is, and it's not completely on plan, we're not condoning that you do that. You have to make your choice. But if you do it, then really the 3-bite rule is this. Number 1, the first bite is hello. You tell yourself this in your brain. You might not want to say it out loud. People will think you're this person right here. So you don't want to do that. But first bite is hello. Second bite is this is yummy. Enjoy it. And eat slow down. Enjoy. If you know that you're only going to do 3 bites of something like pumpkin pie for, Thanksgiving or now Christmas, whatever it is, if you're telling yourself I can only have 3 bites, I bet you'll slow down, because then you'll actually really taste it. And then the third bite, that's the most important one, is to tell it goodbye. That means we're done and no more bites. And I promise. And then take a sip of water and, but really just enjoy it. That's really what this is all about, is slowing down. And that's true freedom, getting to feel like I am in control of the food. It is not the boss of me.
That's right.
And
because the mentality is I can't have that.
Oh yeah,
it's a diet mentality.
As soon as you tell me that, I want.
Versus, someone says, "What can you have on your program?" I said, "Anything you want." It just depends on what your goals are, and if you're going to let going off plan as a choice sabotage your journey, I'm not interested in hitting the reset button on January 1st. I'm interested in hitting January 1st with great momentum. But people ask me all the time, Wayne, you're still eating those feelings? Yeah, a couple times a day, but I'm also having anything I want because I got this healthy. And my bites and my portions are a lot smaller now. Yeah. I don't have to have a trough full of old country buffet food to feel satisfied. I can have a little bit. When I was at that sushi restaurant, I had literally, she gave me the dessert. I had 2 bites of it and put the rest back. I was satisfied. It was fine. I can have
Wayne
that.
would have never done that.
No, I'd have been like Cookie Monster, right? So, but that was the mindset that's out there. So another great tip that you have.
Yeah. So after you've had those 3 bites, and another great thing to do is always keep some sugar-free gum handy in your pocket, in your purse, wherever. Pop it in your mouth and it will immediately make you not take another bite. Because to me, mint gum and pecan, or that's really sugary. I don't even have that one much at all. And any other little thing that you've had don't taste good together. So I can't imagine, having another bite of that after chewing gums, sugar-free mint gum. So that's a very simple, practical tip that I would say if you're going to a party, make sure you have that. And that'll help you really go in with a plan, taking something you can eat, watching your portions, drinking water, all these things go together. And then popping gum in your mouth will really help you have that moment of stop, challenge yourself. Okay, I need to be done. Because as you know, it takes a little bit longer for your brain to catch up. It wants more of that food because of the endorphins that are going on and the serotonin. They're saying, man, this is good. But if you'll just take it a little bit slower, chew the gum, give it a couple of minutes, you'll be completely satisfied. That's how you
if you hear me popping a bunch of bubbles in the corner, I'm chewing gum. I may be
cracking it.
That's out there.
That's how we have stayed healthy for 6.5 years now. Another thing that also seems simple, but it's so true. And I was so guilty of this. And I think I realized it as my mindset started to shift is look up. I realized I was really making it all about the food. I mean, I was on the plate too.
Yeah, heads were down as we were going through the parties. Right?
It's quiet, just like on Christmas Vacation movie. You hear all the, of them eating the dried turkey. That's what happens at meals. No one's saying a word because no one's looking up. Everyone is focused. So be different this time. Look up. That'll help you to take smaller bites, slow down, just like what your mother told you when you were growing up. But it really is a great, rule of thumb. And it'll help you just enjoy things. If you know that you're telling yourself, I'm not going to go back for seconds and this is it, this is my plate that I'm going to enjoy, then you'll make yourself slow down and then actually maybe turn and ask a question to somebody. Right. And, one simple thing that we've done for our family dinners is put a little question under this is a freebie little game idea, put a question under each plate. And to make the meal kind of slow down and just make conversation interesting, it would be like, what's one of your childhood favorite memories? Or, just little things that maybe you can get your grandparents to talk about something that you've always wondered about, or a memory or your favorite, if you could be an animal, what kind would you be? I mean, it could be something just fun and silly, but that is a great way to really enjoy your meal without focusing on the food.
And I'm going to give a non-food tip on look up. Let's put the phones away during holiday, right? And I think almost our necks are going to evolve into these I had a guy run into me in the airport yesterday because he was looking down, and there's something about conversation, about make faces and not food the most important part of your holiday gatherings. And that makes a huge difference. It's out there.
Absolutely. Madison, yes,
wonderful. Okay, so starting a new tradition. I know if I look back on all my childhood, most of it is about sugar cookie decorating and all the sweets. No, it's okay. But we usually have an annual gingerbread competition. So this year, instead of making it with icing, I'm going to be hot gluing my house.
Brilliant,
because
hot glue doesn't taste very good.
Taste very good. So that is one of my tips, is that no matter what you're doing this holiday season, really focus on the people around you. If you're a grandparent, I know my grandparents had, some fun games that we played the other day at their house and just making memories. And, maybe you, instead of decorating some sugar cookies, you jump in the car and go see a bunch of Christmas lights, and drive around and listen to Christmas music and just really enjoy the family time. That's what this holiday season is all about, giving back and spending time with people that you love. And really, I don't think you might remember what you ate yesterday, but I sure don't. But I do remember those holiday memories that we create with family. So do something not food related this year.
Yeah, and if you've got some ideas in the chat about new traditions that you're doing or newer traditions, put them in the chat. We've got a bunch of people on the call right now, and we're looking for ideas too. But such an important thing, because I think so many times, and here's the deal, we make it all about the food, and then we've eaten in 10 minutes.
It's true.
We take weeks to get way too high price at the grocery store. All we do is spend time there, and we wolf it down only to talk about at the table when we're eating next. I'm like, we're not dogs. We're not animals. And so this idea, but those traditions, you do have those great memories.
I have one idea about this too, actually, is so if you're like, well, but my family always does a big cookie day where we all get together and make cookies, and you're like, I'm not, I don't want to change their tradition if they're like grown and all that. So an idea is, okay, be a part of the cookie thing. Just know you're in charge of the food and that goes into your mouth. So wrap all the cookies up that you make and give them away to neighbors, to the mail lady, to the, turn it into something that's a gift and get it out of your house. That would be a
Because
great
what you
thing for
don't
that.
want to do is say, I can't participate in that because I'm on this diet.
Right.
You know who's never going to join you on it? Your family that probably needs it. Because they're like, I don't want what you are projecting. I don't want that experience. What I want is the fun and the joy and the memories that we have. Okay, have those memories, make them, stay in control of that. But I think some people think it's a sacrifice, but you're really gaining so much on this. It's not what you're giving up. Because these smiles on those faces are way more important than what you ate yesterday, for sure.
So make Christmas cards that you can take to the nursing home instead of cookies. That was one of those pictures. That was a great idea.
These are pretty cool. I didn't really know when Courtney did this a couple years ago what you meant, but it's really a pretty cool way to do this.
Yeah, and this actually, everything we've learned is from the Habits of Health book. So if you don't have it, I do encourage you. You can get it through Optavia or the Amazon. I mean, really, just anywhere. If you don't already have it, it will help you long term to learn these principles. But this one is really all about a cue, and that's what one of the things that Dr. A talks about is giving yourself something to remind you why you're doing what you're doing. So one real simple tip is, and you don't have to do it even as big as this one on here if you don't want anybody to ask you about it, but you might, because then you can share this wonderful gift. But if I'm going to a party, you can just draw a little heart on your hand, and and put it on your dominant hand that you're going to reach for the things that you shouldn't be reaching for, so that every time you see it, it's going to cue your brain of, are you sure you want to do that? Because you are choosing you this holiday season.
That's good.
And that definitely really, really helps. So, and one of the examples Dr. A gives in his book is, so if you want to start walking in the morning, put your shoes next to your bed, like literally you fall over them as you're getting up, or the dog's leash. If you want some healthy movement, but you just can't seem to remember because then the day gets started. Create a little cue to help yourself remember. And this is a very simple one for a party. Another one is, don't stand right next to the table, the big, buffet table or whatever's happening. Position yourself in a place where you can just enjoy people, and that, potato salad or whatever it is isn't calling your name, until you can really gain control and your mindset starts to really, be really good.
And I think a heart's appropriate, because it not only is literally physically heart health by fueling your body better, and not wasting this pump that we have, but also to me, I think it's one of the greatest ways we can show love to those that matter most is when we are the best version of ourselves. And so that reminder that I'm choosing my family and my future over acting like a dog eating from a bowl, I'm choosing a better choice. That's all what this is about. So I love that cue, because Dr. A says we need a visual cue to remind us. It's almost like this water bottle. If it's sitting out on the counter in the morning, you're more likely to fill it up and drink it. So whatever visually we need is a very powerful way to move forward. Well, those are the tips that we had to be able to really navigate not only the holidays, but any time of year moving forward, but especially this time of year, there seems to be a special emphasis on maybe some more unhealthy choices, but you can certainly make that. But Courtney, you are going to do a great challenge for them.
Yes, and actually, I wanted you to also, talk about, talk to some of the guys, because I know that, they have a different.
Let me talk to that for just a minute. So we'll leave the let your light shine up there for just a moment. But I wanted to take a moment, and of course, ladies, you can listen too. But I'm gonna lean into my fellow males that are out there on program. And by the way, ladies, go ahead and put the elbow into a male person in your life, because that's what she did to challenge me, because I had a very prideful mentality. But I was thinking about, this is a great time where many, especially college, but also on the pros, are preparing for, especially in college, preparing for bowl games. And many of these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids will not necessarily, they may be home for Christmas for a day, but right now they are on the practice field, because they are preparing for a New Year's Day or January 2nd, or if my Gators are playing on the 17th, which is tomorrow, which means they didn't do very well this year. But anyway, right, they're preparing for that. Now, they may not feel like getting out of bed again in December when the season's over and preparing, but I can guarantee all of them want to win that game, right? So what do? They make the choice to do that. And so we've got January 1st, we've got a new year staring at us right around the corner in a couple weeks. And I think we can set ourselves up for massive momentum if we will kind of have that football mentality. Like, look, we may not feel like eating the feelings. You don't have to worry about it. You just eat the feelings, right? This is designed so we don't have to depend upon our motivation level. It's not about that. It's about these micro habits. That's why Dr. A made this so stinking simple. You eat a feeling, you drink the water, you lose the weight. That's it. The only way you're not successful, well, there's multiple ways. A way is to complicate it. Is to say, well, I'm not motivated. Did you get dressed this morning? Did you brush your teeth this morning? Hope so. Did you go to work this morning or this week when you may not have felt like it? But what about taking care of your health? And Craig did a great job last week of talking about making the choice. You make choices all the time to do things you don't want. Make the choice to do things that are actually going to lead to a healthy you moving forward. And so I thought about that. I was like, man, there's probably a lot of 20-year-old kids that are not wanting to get on that practice field again, but they're doing it because they know the end result's coming. They don't want to show up not their best version. And so
I would say, honestly, that is how we have continued to stay healthy on this journey. Is we've made the daily decision. Now it's just become part of who we are. We eat every 2 to 3 hours, whether one or two of those might not be the best choice, and then the next one is. I mean, it's become a rhythm. It's become a part of who we are. So if you're thinking, oh, I'm just not motivated, do it anyway.
And 66 days, Dr. A talks about that in his book. 66 days to develop a permanent habit. That's just 2 months of fuelings. Yeah. That's it. So once you've done that, then all of a sudden, it's not that, oh, I've got to eat a fueling. You're like, I get to eat a fueling. It's part of your daily routine of doing it. But if you start and stop and start and stop, don't be in the 5-in-1 prison. Yeah. Don't say, and here's another example. If you're going to a holiday party tonight on Friday night, many parties are taking place tonight, and you maybe not make the best choice, don't let that sabotage your weekend. That's right. You know what you do in the morning? You get up and have a brownie with whatever you want, right? You make a better choice. And there's a lot of grace in this program. There's not a single one of us that were perfect, but we were always contending for better and making those choices. And now our choices that were kind of, we had to really make a choice. Now it's muscle memory. It's automated healthy choices. And that's where the magic happens. It's out there. Absolutely. But a great way to be able to take it to the next level and truly put yourself in the winner's circle. And I love this quote, Courtney, is let your light shine. What do you mean by that? And how can clients do that?
Well, it's something I've just personally always told my kids. And what I mean is really just you're special on the inside. And so let that shine out to everyone that you know. Be yourself. And you have a gift to give. You were born and brought into this world for a reason. So, if you just really think about that and just let your light shine by leaving leaving places better than when you got there, by being the person that's going to be encouraging during the holidays. There's a lot of stress. There's emotions, there's people missing people. I mean, all the things, and maybe you're walking through that, but the best way to encourage yourself is to encourage someone else. And so be the light, give an encouraging word, because in the end, it's going to turn right back on you and encourage yourself. So my challenge to you is, if you haven't stepped out into the light with your journey, I can tell you it is one of the main reasons that all three of us, have. And you can imagine even Madison, who had lost significant weight years ago and then had to hit the reset, and now she's down 90 pounds again. For her to actually come back out into the light and be like, okay, well, she had to admit that, you know what, I might have stumbled, but do you know how many people she has inspired? Yes. Because she didn't quit. She got right back up. Even if it was a 2 or 3 year hiatus, it doesn't matter. You don't fail unless you absolutely quit. So don't quit. Right. Keep going and let your light shine. And it really, Madison, did that give you tons of freedom when you did that first post, when you first
yes.
week?
I mean, of course, at first I was like, oh, what are people going to think? But then I just thought, if I can inspire somebody else to also join with me and let's do this together, because it is hard to admit defeat, but what's great about it is that I've continued and people are like, wow, okay, she had to pick herself back up. That's and sometimes you have to pick yourself back up, so.
And that unique story is going to connect with other people uniquely where maybe my story can't. And Courtney's story is going to relate to others. And so you all have an important voice, but we're going to give you 4 practical tips on how to let your light shine.
So a challenge is for you to step out into the light, share about your journey, whether that's in person, but really in social media, because it's going to add an extra little layer of accountability.
Right.
And we are people that didn't do these things before. So don't think, oh, they always posted on
Yeah.
Facebook. I never posted on Facebook, but here we are 6.5 years later. And I can tell you, it still keeps me on my journey. I see it, yes, I'm throwing, hope to somebody else, but really I'm doing it for myself because it's holding me accountable. And also want to put you at ease and let you know that, did you know that only 3% of your Facebook friends see anything that you post? You'll probably notice you got about the same 10 people rotating on your Facebook that you see, and they like your things and you like theirs. So don't be scared of, oh my gosh, it's going out. It really isn't going out to very many people. And that really helped me, to not worry about it so much. And I actually recently told a friend and client, I said, don't worry, you're not going to die. And when she did it, she was like, oh, you're so right. And it did help her. It's a little, it pulls back another little layer of, of it just helps you become free. It really does.
And she got bombarded with encouragement.
Yeah.
And on those days where it's a little tough, you can go back and read those messages and be encouraged. And that's what it's designed to do.
I understand this is a personal journey. It really is. I totally understand that. We're not saying you have to share a picture. We're not saying that at all. Just maybe if and when you're ready, like I was finally, but really it is a personal journey, but it can't be a private one. If you want, what we've discovered and lots of other people is, really that stepping out into the light for long-term is going to continually help you with accountability. And that's what we were looking for. I wanted long-term health. I did not want to just lose some weight and then 3 years from now, here we go again. That's how we've stayed healthy. So I've got a couple of really simple ideas just to help you not be nervous about it. This one says, this is the season of giving. So happy I decided to give myself a great gift this year, my health. I'm focusing on creating healthy habits and feeling great. That could just be a simple post. So easy. But of course, you want your personality to shine through. That's what your friends and family are seeing. So if you see Optavia as a gift like we all do, and it is changing your life, don't you want to throw a gift of hope to somebody this Christmas and just share a little snippet? Because in the end, like I said, it's going to encourage you. Another idea is Merry Christmas to me. I'm making changes and I'm already down 12 pounds this month. Feeling great. See, it's not giving away too much. It's not saying, oh my gosh, I felt terrible and fat and all the things. No, it's just, really just sharing a little win. It's so important for you to learn how to share your wins. It's part of your mindset really becoming healthy through this. Another idea is, who knew that getting healthy could be so simple? I'm loving this. See how vague that is? It's not even very, but if you need to tiptoe into the light, that might be something that you could say. And then the last one is, I'm putting this out there for accountability. So if anything, challenge yourself to put that just very simple statement. I'm putting this out here for accountability. I'm focusing on a new healthy me in 2023. Let's do this. So that's not even sharing any personal thing if you're not quite ready, but it's for you to do accountability in your journey. So I just want to encourage you. So I hope that you'll,
great.
And also want to make sure that, you reach out to your coach, just like Madison was talking about. Did you know that you're 10 times more likely to be successful, to reach your goal and stay successful if you lean on your coach and actually reach out to them and say, hey, I'm going to a party tonight. Do you have any, tips for me? Or, hey, I did this, or hey, I'm struggling, or, they really aren't mind readers as much as we would love to be.
Yes.
And just know that we are there to support and help and encourage.
And if you really want to geek out, there is a clinical study on where we got that 10 times from. It's not just made.
Right.
Sounds kind of like, oh, 10 times.
Yeah.
It actually is clinically proven that's out there. But I love each one of these. And I would also suggest have a conversation with your coach. Say, hey, I'm going to post this, and tag them on that post, because you are going to have people saying, oh my goodness, I got to be a healthy me in 2023 also. What are you doing? And your coach knows how to guide through those conversations, because we want people to set up for the Berry Fest out there. So that's why that when someone does decide to jump on program that you have referred, that you talk to your coach about this, but there are referral credits that your coach most likely would love to partner with you. So it would be like, hey, we will give referral credits for a new friend of yours that you referred getting started. And hey, as a thank you for referring them, hey, we'll put some credits on your account for next month's order. And that's just a way to say Dr. A's desire is to share this with as many people possible. And here's what he's told us time and time again. We do not have enough voices sharing this gift. He goes in tears about how he left critical care to get on the front side of this because he knew this world and this country is desperate to get healthy. The obesity rate, the unhealthy rate is skyrocketing, and that's part of what's added to the stress in people's life is they're unhealthy. They feel like crud. They're not sleeping. So being able to dial that in, the challenge is we don't have enough megaphones. We don't have enough voices. Courtney and I and Madison cannot reach the people in your world, and you never know by someone posting. I know John Michael was nervous when he posted, and he tells that story, but when he did, it threw this person right here a life ring when she was sitting in the emergency room. Do you think he really cares now about how other people are going to feel about it? First of all, they're not thinking about you. Second, those that really want help trust you because you're their friend.
Right.
And so I want to encourage you. So just wanted to say, awesome to hang out with all of you today. If you do these tips, they will work, because I'm telling you this not in a prideful way. You're looking at 3 experts right here. We're not trying to come up with what would be 9 things to maybe say that I hope. They work because we know what we're doing, and so does your coach to talk through that. So awesome. So
Yeah.
well, listen, we just want to say it's an honor for us to journey with you. You know, we're never done with our client journey, and how many of you are so grateful to Dr. A? Aren't we so
Yes.
thankful that so many years ago he made that courageous choice to leave critical care to get upstream of health and provide this? And I would just encourage you to hurry up and become a coach, and hurry up and get to convention so you can hug his neck and tell him personally thank you, and watch the tears come down his face as he really has a burden. And you know what? He was thinking of you. I know he doesn't know you, you may not know him, but you really are on his heart, because when you succeed and when you are part of calls like this, you are making your world a better place.
That's right.
You are contributing this. Your voice matters, and you're contributing to this community. So take this little shot of adrenaline and encouragement, and let's go rock this holiday season